Hello again, YouTube. I am back with what should be my final unboxing for a little while. As I said in the previous video, TikTok has been very generous to me this week. I have some very awesome friends who've sent me some very awesome gifts. And this last one is Liz Dean's Golden Tarot. Again, it's an old deck, but it's hard to find updated flip-throughs that I actually can sit through, so I try and make the flip-throughs I want to watch. There you go. This is actually a middle-aged themed collection of pictures and is based off of the original first tarot, the first deck to be actually called tarot, I guess is the way to say it. What is also now known as the Marseille Tarot, or the Sconti Sforza Tarot. I'm sorry, I messed up. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. This has got a side lift box, which is pretty cool, but also kind of weird because the way it lets your cards slide around, I'm not a fan of. But everything sits in there. There was a little cardboard cutout, and it held the cards in. We'll get on the book first. It's a thin little book. And this is, looking at it right now, just the introduction, how to lay the cards, and the meanings. Not a lot of information. This would not be a very good book for a beginner. So if you don't know, you may want to pick up her Ultimate Guide to Tarot, inserting plug here. I've already done a video on it. Amazing book for beginners. I'm telling you, if you don't get another book, that and Holistic Tarot would be the two I would go with. But anyway, go back to the deck. So that's the book. It's got some pictures of the tarot on the front and the back. And this is what I mean about these cards being weird and the way they're in here being weird, because now you got to try and fish them out. I don't see this deck living in here for long. These are a little bit of a larger tarot deck. The back is gorgeous with that typical like middle-aged Tudor garish color combination that they were such big fans of. The cardstock is a little flimsy, a little flexible, but not terrible. It's a little thin, and that's what kind of makes me a little leery there, but definitely smells like brand new tarot cards. So it's a good cardstock for the tarot. And without further ado, let's just get right into this, and we'll talk about it as we go. First card is the Fool, as always, and I'm live as always. I'm trying to make sure everybody can see the card. I can really feel how flimsy these are as I'm picking them up one by one. So I would be very careful with this deck. It's not anything terrible. It's definitely not as flimsy as that $5 tarot box I got from Five Below. But I do feel like these are cards that would bend up very easily while shuffling. I would not rifle shuffle this deck. I feel like if you do, you're going to end up really messing your cards up. And I'm talking to myself as well as everybody else here. I'm addicted to rifle shuffling. And I'm going to end up short a deck if I keep doing that. So let's not. But I love this artwork. I'm a huge history buff. I'm a big Tudor fanatic. And this is right up my alley. This is the kind of artwork I would expect to see in an old English palace. As something brought in from across the ocean to make them feel fancier, you know? Oh, and this sticks to the traditional Justice is number 8. I just caught that because I thought it was out of order. Justice is number 8, which means Strength is 11 in this. That is a definite traditional thing there. I do believe the Rider-Waite-Smith deck broke the tradition of the 8 and 11s and switched them around, but that's going off the top of my head. I think that was the first deck to do it, was the Rider-Waite-Smith. We have just been informed in live that the meaning of life, or the purpose of life, is mainly to eat tacos and good pizza. So if you've been feeling like you have no meaning, well, now you found it. I'm here all week. This is beautiful. I like the rainbow. I do feel like this is going to end up being a deck that I use more like personal readings, because if I was to do business with these, I'm going to end up tearing them apart, I feel. I'm going to have to shuffle these and see how they go, because I'm very scared with how flimsy these are. This is the moon. Oh, I like the way that moon's drawn. That's really cool. This deck, I feel like is pretty, but it's in more of a history buff, pretty way. There's not many who would say this style of art is like breathtakingly gorgeous. But this is making my history-loving heart so happy. Now, when we get into the pips, this is not an illustrated pip deck, which means you are literally going to just see multiples of the cups, wands, swords, and cups, wands, swords, and what did I miss? Pentacles. That's all you'll see is just multiples of them with a different background. Some people find this easier to read. Some people find this harder. I do feel like you need to rely more on your knowledge of cards with this when you're beginning until you can develop your intuition. So if you have not read before, you may need to learn some of the meanings to help make sense of it. Otherwise, you're going to be staring at it like you've got 6 cups. This is awesome. You catch my drift. I'm not saying this in a mean way. Just make sure you're prepared is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to sit down all excited to read, and then you get to these, and you're like, well, there's multiple swords in front of me. You got a lot of enemies. Like, that's not going to be a good reading if you don't know. You could even just read the books that come with it, with the deck. It would be a good start for you. I have found myself, now that I know the decks, it's a lot easier to sit down and look at it, take what I already know, take what comes to mind, and come up with a reading in between. And it's a pretty spot-on reading, but it takes practice. So don't let yourself get discouraged if at first you really are just staring at it like this is a bunch of pentacles. It does take some time. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Speak of the devil. That is me tapping on the box. I am kind of bored. This is not as interesting as the pictures, so my ADD is flaring up. I'm sorry. The deck is pretty. I don't know. If you have ADHD, you feel my pain. I have I have another tarot deck at home, and I have a Russian deck at home I need to bring in unboxed as well, but we'll wait for those. I have live telling me how they feel me and they have ADHD. ADHD is the pits, y'all. I'm telling ya. I think my live just froze. All right, now we have the Ace of Swords. my battery alert came out and then I had to drop. Always give it a minute when it freezes if you're in my live, because if I get a notification, it will yes, thank you. Somebody was saying that the cards are pretty, the clouds are pretty on these cards. They are. One thing that the Middle Age is good for was clouds. The swords are pretty too. I like the way these are drawn. These are actually drawn more like daggers, but I know what they're supposed to be. And they're definitely pretty. Just for some reason they could never really master people then. And I'm not sure why. They always had squiggly people. But they got better. Art improved, and now look at us today. We can paint pictures that you would think are actually photographs, and who would have thunk that that's where we'd go? Advancement is amazing. The things that a long unboxing makes you chatter about. Definitely still thinking about these two thin cards though. This is going to be some getting used to. They're a little larger, a lot thinner, but I think it can be done. I really do. I do notice they're not sticking together, which is good. Which that'll mean a little bit less likely to pull multiple cards and a little bit less likely to destroy your cards, shuffling and having them getting stuck together and everything. And then finally we have the Ace of Wands. This is going to be our last suit for this deck. As I'm finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and do my spiel so I can just stop filming when we're done. If you have not pressed that subscription button already, please do. And definitely press that little bell so you're notified whenever I post a video. You have to press it and then go down and tell it how often you want to be notified. I will be coming back with my readings soon, if not, definitely within this month. I've got room on my phone again so I can film. Excuse me. Definitely get notified. Come and see me. I'm trying to get this off the ground. I'm trying to get everything back on track. You won't be disappointed. Check that description box. You'll have a link to the deck down there, as well as information on how to get paid readings, how to come join me on TikTok so you can be in lives like this one that I have going right now and watch as YouTube videos are made and get to meet some really awesome new people. And all my socials and everything are down there. You won't be disappointed. Read through that description. I have everything set up in a way you'll know where each new paragraph begins, and it's well worth it. There's even some discount codes down there, so definitely check it out. And this is the final card of the deck. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll be back sometime soon, really quick. Oh, well. Okay, it is bending, but if you're careful with pressure, you can shuffle these. So it's not too bad. Definitely something you got to practice with, and you got to watch your pressure because it will bend very easily. So there you go. Now you know how it shuffles, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye.